Welcome back to another episode of the Lunch Table, Food for Thought. I'm Nico Blitz. You already know where to hit that subscribe button. Shout out to my next guest. My homeboy Pablo texted me sometime last week, and he was like, yo, check this song out. You're going to like it. It was this song called Get Me High, and I haven't seen so much promise in like a 3-minute video. And I'm talking about the music was phenomenal. The message was good. Shout out to all the free-spirited women out there. And the music video itself, just very colorful and vibrant, just like my guest top right now. Yeah. Shout out my next guest, Cameo Adele. What's poppin'?
Hey, what's up?
You know what's funny is that I introduced you, like your music, to somebody earlier this week, and I was like, yeah, you need to check this girl out. And then she was like, oh, is her name Cameo Adele? I was like, no, it's Cameo Adele. And then she's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's Cameo. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's Cameo.
She was right.
She was right.
Yeah.
So now I'm assuming, because when you called me, you're like, hey, Cameo's outside. I'm like, all right, bet. So I'm assuming you've done a whole bunch of like cameos and like, no? See? I'm 0 for 2 right now. Come on.
That's honestly, I was named after my dad's favorite band. It's a band from the 80s called Cameo. I don't know if you ever heard Word Up. Everybody sang. Have you heard that song?
I think I have.
Or like Taste Like Candy.
I've heard that one. Yeah.
That's Cameo. They're like a funk band from the 80s. Yeah.
Is that your legitimate name, Cameo Adele?
Yeah.
Dude, yo, your parents blessed you with a very beautiful ass name.
I have some cool parents.
Yeah.
They're eccentric souls.
So it sounds like your parents were into music very much well too.
Absolutely. Both of them are musicians, actually vocalists.
Oh, tight.
And my dad was like a producer, bass player, sort of like the runner of his band. I don't know what you would call that. Musical director.
Okay.
Music has always been something that's been like expected of us.
Yeah, it sounds like you had like a really easy musical upbringing.
Yeah, it was definitely like when I enrolled in school, my mom was like, "What are you doing?"
She's like, "If you're not doing music, why are you here? You are not my daughter if you're not doing music."
Literally that. It's like you're steering away from the dream. Like, don't go to school. Keep working on music. Like, keep working on your craft. But it's cool. Like, not a lot of artists can say that they have supportive parents.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I hella did.
You hella did. Yeah. You know, she's just a little bit Bay Area. Are you from here? You're from LA?
I'm from LA.
Okay, I was about to say, because the Bay kind of trickles down just a little bit over here.
The Bay be influencing a lot of like culture down here, I feel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you look like you belong in God, what's in San Francisco?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Because I'm from there, and I'm just like, you fit like this weird vibe that a lot of like San Franciscans do, but it's like a weird in like a good way.
Yeah, I feel that. I totally feel that. I definitely take the word weird as a compliment.
Oh, of course.
It means that you haven't seen something like me before.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. The weirdos are the unique ones.
Exactly. I feel that.
So Cameo, I gotta knock this question out the park before we really start.
Okay.
I type up your name on Google, right? Mm-hmm. And the first photo that I see is that you are at the Detective Pikachu premiere.
Oh, really? That's the first photo that comes up?
Yes.
That's cool.
And you have like this blazer looking like Detective Pikachu thing. And I'm only asking this because I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Yeah. Like, I'm assuming you're into Pokemon just as much as I am.
I'm very into Pokemon.
Yes.
But yes. I might say that you may be slightly more into Pokemon. Okay. Like, let's see how into Pokemon
all right.
you are before I compare it.
Okay.
I haven't played a lot of the like DS games and stuff like that, like Pokemon Go or Pokemon Silver. Like, I haven't played a lot of those.
You know, if I pull up my phone, like, I still play Pokemon Go.
No, I'm sorry. I meant Pokemon Gold. I have played Pokemon
Gold.
Go.
Okay.
I definitely play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go is the shit.
I still play it to this day. I've been doing it for like 3 years straight. Like, every time my girl turns the corner and we're out in like a new place, I'll pull out my phone.
Exactly.
She's just like, dude. I'm like, dude, we haven't been here.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
some new shit that I can get over here.
I feel that anytime I travel, I'm like, let me go to like the fountains, get some water Pokemon and like in New York or something.
We are on the exact same page. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But speaking of traveling, you were actually just in New York.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you were able to catch hella Pokemon over there.
I actually was so somewhere else in my head that I wasn't thinking about Pokemon Go, but I really should have. I recently moved into a new apartment in LA though, and I've been walking around there like seeing what Pokemon we have. Like one of those, what do they call them? The stations.
Where you can like swipe and get items and whatnot.
They have one of those like on my property, so I'm always going there and getting like Pokeballs and stuff like that whenever I'm running out.
See, I need to leave. I need to live where you live. I gotta walk like 5 minutes down just to get to one, but it's all good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stay too much on this Pokemon subject, but who's your favorite Pokemon?
Bulbasaur, number 1.
Damn.
The first one.
OG.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel you.
He's so cute.
Kind of compliments the greenish hair that you have right,
right, he's
now.
Like an Earth type Pokemon, right? They call him something else. They don't call him Earth.
Like
Leaf or like
something like that. It's like some very basic thing. Like, and then like the categorizations just ended up becoming like super weird by the time you're getting to like the newer ones.
Yeah, I'm definitely like the
OG?
First few generations type of. Yeah, I don't pay a lot of attention to like the newer generations of Pokemon.
Okay.
I'm like, once they start getting a little too high def, I'm like, that's not what Pokemon was.
So then did the movie kind of freak you out?
I loved the movie. The movie. There are definitely like Pokemons in the movie that I don't recognize because they span over all like the different generations, but it was exciting to see like Bulbasaur or Pikachu and
in
like
real life type of thing.
Or even Mewtwo. It's like, this is so dope. Like the characters that I really fucked with growing up, like are in real life now.
I'm still hoping one day, like, somehow they're gonna get live simulations of Pokemon just like running around.
That's like that's like the closest. Pokemon Go is like the closest thing to that because they can like put it in your house, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to see like. Let's do holograms. Let's get VR.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine, like, you know how they make the holograms of, like, Michael Jackson and Tupac? Yeah. Imagine having, like, a hologram set. And this could go crazy, however. you know what I mean? Like, but I'm only thinking about it in terms of Pokemon. Yeah. Like, imagine having, like, a hologram set, like, on your roof or something, or on your ceiling, and then it just projects Pokemon, like, in your living room. That would be tight.
That'd be hella sick. I would definitely invest in that.
We got to start at Pokemon. You know, you got to pay us.
We planting these seeds.
You know what I mean? The Bulbasaur seeds. So, you grew up in a very musically inclined family. When did you start actually creating music?
I would say that I started like writing music around like 11 or 12 because I started to write poetry even younger than that. And then I kind of just started connecting the dots and realizing I could just put poetry to melodies, and that is what music is. But I would say that I really started to pursue it as far as like getting in the studio and like actually recording my songs when I was about 15.
That's so young.
Yeah, it was in my household. It's very like my dad's like, you need to come to the studio with me. Like you know, like in my household, it's more normalized, I guess. But
that's a really lit, like normal household to be in from my perspective.
Totally. Like it was very art driven. And around 15 is when I like started to like record my music. But I would say even at that time I wasn't as discovered in who I was as an artist or what my voice was until about like maybe 2014. 2014 is when I had dropped like a 5-track EP on SoundCloud, and that was I would say like the first real manifestation of who I am today as an artist. Yeah.
Well, I get you. I mean, I haven't listened to the EP yet, and I should have done my research on
it's
that.
It's all good.
But, you know, and I don't like to put a number when it comes to the newer artists because, you know, if I look at your following, right, you're probably at like 3,000 or something like that. But that has nothing to do with how your music actually sounds. Yeah. So when I actually listened to Get Me High, I couldn't help but think that, yo, she's been doing this for a minute now because not that many people who just start off
are like
sound
this.
As like chiseled. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a kind of a misconception that happens a lot of times. It's like an artist will come out super polished, but no one's heard of them yet. So they assume like, oh, it's an overnight sensation or it's easy, you know, like, or like talent is something that people are just born with in a sense. But I really truly believe that talent is something that people work on, and it's a skill that people perfect every single day. And we get better at it. And I believe that the work that I've put in up until the point of dropping Get Me High is what made Get Me High as like perfect of a project as possible. It's like the fact that I was under the radar doing all this stuff, you know, polishing out all the edges before really letting people see what it is that I'm doing, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, like, for the people who are just listening to the podcast, I could actually see the passion, like, emanating from your face.
Yeah. I love this shit.
It's
I really do.
Yeah, it's different. Like, I feel like a different energy from you that I don't normally get from a lot of musicians and artists who I come across, whether it be on this podcast or, you know, people who I just come across, like, on the street. So, I mean, I really commend you for doing what you currently do. Being at the studio at, like, 15 years old, like, what was it like? Were you primarily working with your dad, or were you working with other musicians?
At that time, I was like kind of working with other musicians. My mom was helping me. We had found a producer, and she was helping me like produce a few songs that I had written. And it was funny too, because at the time, I'm 15 years old. I listened to like Jonas Brothers and Paramore and like Demi Lovato, and those are the kind of like that's the kind of music I was trying to do when I first like started writing music. Was like this like pop teen rock and like
understandable,
and it was fun. And there was like a period in my life that I just wanted to be like Hayley Williams of Paramore so bad. She was just the coolest person to me.
I could see
so
that.
Like that was really my dream. But my dad had always taught me this thing about. Don't only find songs that you like, find songs that like you. And that when I was kind of pursuing like this teen pop thing, I realized that like as much as I loved it, it didn't love me as much as I loved it, because there is more grit to my voice. You know, there is more grit, there is more soul to it. And I was lucky enough within a few years to find, around that same time actually, to start to find artists like Sade and Lauryn Hill and Erykah Badu and Jill Scott.
There's
and
the
then I was like, oh, this is who I am.
Yeah.
You know, like, because the thing about Neosoul is that it pulls from everything. It does pull from rock, and it does pull from jazz, and it pulls from R&B and hip hop and all these different genres that I loved, but none of them were fitting me perfectly, you know, and Neosoul is such a perfect blend of all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like Neosoul has never really gotten its time to shine, per se, because, you know, rock definitely had its time, and hip-hop is currently having its time right now. But Neosoul's always been under the radar, but never away.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because it's like it has longevity to it. Like, to this day, people are still bumping, like, Erykah Badu songs that came out 20 years ago, and Lauryn Hill songs that came out 20 years ago. Like, it lives, but it's like, was it ever the main thing? And I feel like we're in a wave where it's coming up. Like, I feel like a lot more Neosoul artists are coming up.
So
right now.
I've had this prediction, and I've said it a couple times on this podcast. In 2000s, right, R&B was extremely prominent.
Yeah.
Then Drake comes along, and Drake fucked it up for everybody because 2010s, it's been everybody on this like rapping melody type thing.
Yeah, totally.
But within the past, I want to say probably since like 2016, we've had Ella Mai, Daniel Caesar, her, SZA, and they're all making R&B relevant again.
Yeah.
So I have this prediction that in 2020, R&B might just be that prominent genre.
Yeah. I see
once
that.
again.
I could see that. I definitely see it moving in that direction, even with artists like Kali Uchis or Ari Lennox, or like
I love your taste.
Even Solange. It's like these people. Solange is literally creating culture right now. Like everyone wants to look as visually like Solange, like the way that she directs her visuals. You know, like she's literally in other genres, not even only in soul. She's Beyonce is trying to have a Solange video, you know? You know, like she is. Like, so it's like, I think that there is a heart to Neosoul that is just undeniable, and that it just speaks across demographics a little bit. And I think that it's gonna, people are also moving away from like bubblegum pop. Like, people are over the bubblegum pop, you know, that is like ruling our radio, you know? I think that Neosoul is definitely gonna have its time, and R&B is really gonna have its time once again, and I'm excited for it.
Well, you know, I also tell people that when it comes to the music that you create, I feel like any artist should be targeting the festival routes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Totally.
I've discovered just the most random artists at festivals, and I instantly become fans. Like whether it be like an Alina Baraz,
Yeah.
for example, and I've seen Brockhampton perform countless
That's
times
so
already.
dope.
And to me, these people don't necessarily have the radio play, but in some way they do have mainstream attention.
Yeah, totally.
And they have a cult following.
Exactly. That's really what I'm focused on too, is like having that loyal backing, you know, that cult that really fucks with you no matter what, you know, because I feel like that sometimes is even more powerful than like, I don't know, a white guy signing your checks. You know?
There it is.
Honestly, it's like the people have all the power in my experience, in my perspective, my opinion. The people have the power, and like at the end of the day, too, is when the people really back you, the execs, all these white guys in their towers, they start paying attention because they have no choice but to start paying attention.
Exactly.
Because all the people are backing you. And I think that speaks volumes, like it to really appeal to meet the people at these festivals, like to appeal to them, you know, connect with them there, you know. Because those are the people that are really going to get you wherever it is you're trying to go.
Yeah, because realistically, all you need is 1,000 people to really mess with you. Mm-hmm. And then if you get 1,000 people to spend $100 on you a year, well, guess what? You have 10. Yeah, that's 10% of $1 million.
Like, for
motherfucker.
real.
I'm saying.
That's a 6-digit yearly income.
Yeah, you're
right?
good.
Yeah, for real.
So I'm assuming, like, right now, since you've been kind of tucked away in the chamber, you're ready to blossom.
Yeah.
You're ready to move forward.
Yeah.
What was that signifier for you? What made you want to be like, yo, like, this is the time right now for me to...
I think that it's honestly been a constant journey of, like, thinking I'm ready and then learning I'm not, which I'm open to, because I'm open to being the best artist that I can possibly be. And if that means that I'm going to constantly be learning, then that's the life that I'm happy to be living.
Damn.
I think that I'm currently in a place where I've been through a lot of different manifestations of myself that I'm pretty clear in what it is that I am now, in a way that I can communicate that to people. In an articulate way, whether that be through visuals or through these interviews where I'm literally talking about myself, or just in my music even. Like, the write-up that you did, you totally got what we were trying to convey with that visual, which tells me that we're doing it right. Yeah. And that we're totally aligned where we're supposed to be, because what we want to translate is translating. And that's just the universe falling into place when it's supposed to fall into place, and me just trusting it.
Well, you know, the clearer the message is in a song, the more easily consumable it is to the audience.
Totally.
And so I'm going to bring up the article, like the best way I can articulate it is that the cover art basically had Cameo with armpit hair. I don't know what you got going on.
There.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's always there.
Different strokes, different folks. I ain't tripping. And to me, when I was watching the visual, I was basically saying that it's an ode to feminine freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, I think SZA definitely hit the mark with that, because I know she doesn't shave her underarms.
Yeah.
And there's and I'm not going to put everybody's business out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, if a woman wants to have underarm pit, fuck it.
Yeah.
That ain't my business.
Yeah.
It's the same way when I always bring up a point to a woman, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, like, I love all natural beauty. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, all natural consists of armpit hair. You know what I mean? Like,
leg hair,
everything. Is that what you want? And I'm like, you know what? Touche. Touche. But from your viewpoint, like, how do you view the world in terms of, like, where women lie in a very toxic, masculine world?
Yeah. Man, that is a loaded question.
Loaded question.
I can just speak from, like, my own experience as far as, like, what the message was that we were trying to send as far as with that visual, and just who me and Joules are as women and as, like, feminists, as intersectional feminist women. It's just about living in our truth without anyone else being able to tell us not to do that, or especially based on their perception of our gender, you know, like, it's because you perceive my gender a certain way, or you feel like my gender is supposed to serve you, which toxic masculinity is constantly telling us that. It's like, I don't have to live by that same rhetoric. Like, I can live my life to serve me. And I'm going to have fun and I'm going to feel flourished in that. And me and my homegirls, we're going to feel flourished in that. And like, we're not going to wait around for you to figure that out. You know, like at the end of the day, we're flourished whether you are cool with my armpit hair or not. I'm happy. Like I'm living my truth.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters to me. And the realest truth is that what I'm supposed to attract will come to me.
Yeah.
And if I have to change something that I am for that thing to come to me, then that's not meant for me.
For you.
It's not even meant for me. And I think that is something that's who we are as women. And I think that I know a lot of women that are like that. Mm-hmm. And I also believe that a lot of women can find power in that, because I think that a lot of women have internalized certain toxic masculine ideals of expectations of themselves in ways that keep them back and keep them hidden from themselves and keep them feeling insecure, which messes up their relationships with men even, you know? So it's like, and like constantly I'm hearing from men their issues with women's insecurities, but at the same time, men expect a certain thing from women. They expect it to not make them insecure.
Yeah.
Like, you know? So it's like, I think that women need to stop looking to men for their power, and like maybe we just need to empower ourselves and empower each other, and then share that with men. If a man is willing to meet us there, you know, but not serve,
Not serve.
Yeah.
Not serve.
Yeah.
And it should never be like a serve in like both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that men should serve women nor women should serve men. We should be just helping each other out together. Literally, I just went to the liquor store to buy some batteries, right? Mm-hmm. And the owner was having a conversation with, I think, his homie. And I didn't hear the full conversation, but then the last note that he left it on was like, yeah, bro, you really shouldn't be taking that, especially from a woman. And I'm looking at him like crazy, like, bro, what does that mean?
You're like, I don't even know what the rest of the conversation was.
Yeah, I don't know what the conversation was, but I'm like, bro, like, be a little bit more open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
We're not living like 20, 30, we're not even living 10 years ago. Because this this resurgence really happened within like the past like 5-8 years, I believe. Or at least like from my perspective, that's where I've like seen women really take control of their lives and really like stand up for themselves. And obviously I could be wrong. There's been countless women in history who have been doing that. But just from personal perspective, I think it's a great time for women to showcase who they really are without allowing a man to dictate how they feel or like who they are. Yeah,
who they should be. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I think that it's difficult because we still live in a certain reality where, like, at the end of the day, all our execs and all our CEOs and
everyone up there is
they all men.
Rich white man.
They're all white men, and like, and they're making the rules for us. But I love that I live in a time where I know and see and are constantly connecting with women who don't care about that. They're not concerned. They're so tuned into themselves, and they're starting to know their power, and they're owning it without asking for permission and without apologizing for it.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that challenges men to meet those women where they're at, and it challenges men to even embrace their own feminine qualities and their own attributes of womanhood, which I feel like even women have attributes of manhood and men have attributes of womanhood. And I feel like we're just so much more alike than we've been taught. And I think that is the trick, is just realizing that, and really accepting that we are existing in such a similar way, and we're not as separate as we've been told we are, and we experience things so similarly, and we can, experience power with each other if we just embrace all of ourselves. I think when women embrace all of ourselves, we also can inspire men to embrace all of themselves.
Yeah. Well, I'm not like a firm believer in astrology and whatnot, but then my girlfriend is.
I am as well.
Okay. So when she found out that I'm a Pisces, she's like, "Oh, so you're a lot more caring, you're a lot more emotional." And I was like, "Yes, I am, but that's just based off life experience."
Yeah, your other things.
But you know what I mean? like being more caring and being more emotional are very much more associated with like womanly qualities. Going back to your point where we're able to share the same things, it's just that men don't want to admit that too much.
Yeah. I think they're told not to. And which is really, to me, like, I have a certain, like, sadness with men just because I feel like...
Sadness?
I have a sadness towards men only because I feel like there is an existence that they wish they could live, and they've been shamed their whole lives to not live. And I feel that in them. And I feel that anger comes from that place. Like, anger is associated with masculinity a lot of times because it comes from a place of repression, of I'm not able to express myself the way that comes naturally to me. Mm-hmm. I'm being told not to express myself in the way that comes naturally to me, and it makes me angry. And I'm being told that it's because I'm a man. Like, I have to build my manhood on the fact that I'm not supposed to be emotional. And like, that's just so sad to me because I know they experience emotions. Like, I know that when something happens, it makes them feel some type of way.
Like men aren't just fucking robots.
They're not.
You know what I mean? Like,
they're just not. And I wish that it could be so much more normalized for men to, and I wish it could be more normalized for men to just express themselves genuinely in whatever it is, that they could just express themselves genuinely. And I'm not going to say, and I know that a lot of men experience certain repression from women that have internalized masculinity, and a lot of women are like, you're supposed to be the man, like you're supposed, like, why are you, I don't need a girlfriend, or things like that. I've heard a lot of women internalize certain like toxic masculine ideas and project it back onto men, which is hard for them because now they're like, I'm supposed to be attracted to you, or you're supposed to be my partner, I'm supposed to appeal to you, and I'm being pressured into being this thing that doesn't come naturally to me. I have to literally force myself to not feel, you know? Wow. It's so sad to me. It's so sad.
You're making a really good point.
I just want to hug men and be like, it's okay, just cry. Just cry.
Well, we can definitely hug after this.
Okay, awesome.
What, armpit hair aside, what else makes you, Cameo, feel free?
I find that really interesting because in a lot of ways, people perceive me to be freer than I perceive me to be.
Huh.
But I guess it's because I'm living in some other playing field. What makes me feel free is living my truth, regardless of what someone else is going to say about that. And not being concerned about what other people think, you know, whatever that is. And that's outside of just my gender, you know, like that's just me as a person. Like when it comes to like even the way that I dress, you know, like I'll dress super exaggerating, or I'll dress skimpy, or how people perceive to be skimpy, or I'll just do what feels natural to my mood, you know, and that makes me feel really free. Being able to dye my hair some crazy color,
yeah, right,
makes me feel free. You know,
you probably went through like red, blue, the whole
actually
damn rainbow.
Green is the only one.
It's only been green. Mm-hmm. Oh wow,
green is the truest color for me because I'm a tree.
So green's your favorite color?
I am Earth Mom. It's more like the color of my soul. I would say my favorite color is purple. Like if it's just something that I like. Yeah. But as far as like something I identify with, it would be green.
That's so interesting. That's hella interesting.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know how to formulate a question around that. I'm just like genuinely intrigued. Go ahead.
If you were a color, what color do you think you would be?
I would want to say like so my favorite, let me establish that my favorite color is red. Mm-hmm. But I've always felt the color that I am is orange. And I might also want to relate it to orange is the new black in some sense.
Why?
Because it's like, yeah, so back to it, I think the color that I've always been is probably orange. And I want to say because it's not necessary. I've always felt like orange is kind of like the color that is often overlooked. But also at the same time, if you think about what an orange is as a fruit, it's very much necessary for growth and good health. And if I relate it to orange is the new black, I've always felt like I've been like trapped in a cage, and I'm just wanting to be free from that cage. And you know, granted, like right now I'm like in a very good space mentally.
Yeah.
But I mean, countless times I've been like boxed in, whether it be from like drugs or like depression or not being able to meet ends meet in like certain months. Like, you know, like little things like that get me wrapped up in my head thinking like, fuck, like how the hell am I going to get out of these situations? So to answer your question, orange. Yeah. I've always felt like I'm orange. I actually don't wear too much orange, to be honest. But whenever I've copped like a pair of orange shoes, like I run those through the mud. I'm like, I love these. It's funny. I've never thought about that before.
What I actually find really interesting is if you ask people close to you, what if I ask them about yourself? But ask them about yourself. Like, hey, best friend, if I were color, what color would you perceive me to be? What's really interesting is that different people pick up on the same shade. Which I find that so interesting. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it says about the universe, but I find it really interesting. A color I get a lot is purple. Yeah. And I get a lot of gold as well. And I'm like, I don't know what that says about me or the universe, but I can ask random people, if I were color, what color would I be?
Well, to capitalize on that, I actually went to this school called Archbishop Reardon back in San Francisco, and our school colors were purple and gold.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's so weird.
So crazy.
That's so weird.
And they were telling us they picked those colors because it represents royalty and also loyalty. Yeah.
I feel that.
Because, you know, my school, there's probably like 90 people in our graduating class, and I know everybody by name. Granted, I don't talk to everybody, but like if I see somebody, it's like, oh, yeah, dude, what's up? Because it's really small. And, you know, the royalty, I mean, I don't know where the royalty really comes from, but, I mean, that's just what they told us.
Yeah. I think purple is like a royal shade.
Yeah.
Like, that's super cool. I think that if I were to read your color, I would think, maybe it's just because you're wearing blue, but I feel like blue, like aquamarine off of you.
You're going with the Pisces thing, huh?
Yeah, probably. I'm like, you told me you're Pisces, so now I'm just seeing water.
Right? Well, to be fair, like, when I think of, like, the Pisces thing, too, like, since it's two fish, I think of two koi fish. And my grandparents used to have some koi fish back at their crib, and they were all orange.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if it's like a subconscious thing. I don't know, man. You're bringing like this extra like chamber in my head that I never knew I was thinking of before.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, dope. Dude, thank you for that question, though. So, Cameo, Get Me High. Love the record. Is that attached to like a project or an EP, or is it kind of just a single right now?
It's a single right now. I think I'm just going to focus on doing singles and visuals right now. I find that people pay more attention one-offs, you know. It's rare that people really dive into project. Music lovers do, but like it's more often that people are paying attention to singles. It's easier to just shop a single to someone, like, look at it, here's one thing, here's a visual, you know. I think I'm just going to keep focusing on that. You'll probably see more visuals from me, if not by the end of this year.
We need those.
Definitely by next year. But yeah, I'm just happy with Get Me High being just its own little thing for now. I think it's a strong project too. Yeah. It holds itself up by itself. Yeah.
I'm going to have to backtrack and check out the project. So how long have you been in music for? Since you were like 15, right?
Yeah, pretty much my whole life.
Pretty much your whole life. Who's been your favorite person to work with, whether it be like an artist or a producer?
My producer, the guy who actually produced Get Me High, he produced a lot of other songs with me as well. His name is Uja. He's definitely been probably my favorite person.
Uja?
Uja.
Okay, shout out to Uja.
Shout out to Uja. He's definitely been my favorite person that I've ever worked with. He's just incredibly talented musician, vocalist, songwriter, vocal producer. Damn. He's just very talented, and he's also very I don't know how to say, like, humble. He's so much better than everyone, in my opinion. He's like an expert in his craft. He's incredible. And yet he just like he just has such like he's just so normal. He's just like a guy, and I really appreciate that. That he can be personable, but also incredibly talented. I feel like I identify with that, and and all my favorite songs that I've ever done have been with him.
Well, shout out to Uja, man.
Yeah.
I gotta hear more of Uja's stuff.
You really do. He's really talented.
And that's on the producer side. What about like the artist side?
I would say Joules. Yeah, would Get Me High.
She's dope.
Yeah, she's also my best friend.
Oh.
Yeah, we're super close. And it just, to me, with Get Me High, even when working on Get Me High, and then we actually kind of met through Get Me High, because we knew each other in high school. We went to the same high school, but we never really kicked it or hung out. We literally lived a street away from each other most of our lives.
One of them joints.
Most of our lives. But it wasn't until I was like, yo, let's collaborate on this track, because I saw that she did music. And she was a rapper, which was super, it's more unique, you know. I was like, let's collaborate on this track. And then us meeting up to work on the track was pretty much the first time we ever really kicked it.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, and even in then, it was like the first time we ever really kicked it, she was already, like, helping me dismantle things that I hadn't thought about before, like, as far as, like, the way that I've been taught to think of gender, or the way that I've been taught to think of women, or like the way I've been taught to think of expression. Like, she was already dismantling those things the very first time we ever hung out, and I'm like, who is this person? I love her.
Like, you live right there? We went to this school?
Yeah, literally, we've lived like a street away from each other, and we became close pretty fast. And what I love about when we finally did drop this project, and I saw the way that people responded to it, it made me feel very grateful for that friendship, and like what it is to work with an artist like her, being the artist that I am, and the fact that we're both these like powerful femme people who express ourselves in such an articulate way, and like understand ourselves in such an emotionally mature way, where we can join in our powers and then create this thing that makes other women feel empowered. It makes other women feel like there's someone speaking up for them. And I think that what I love so much about collaborating with Joules is there is a ripple effect that happens from our friendship, where it infects people that get to witness our friendship or our collaboration, which is so powerful. It's so powerful. It's incredible to me. Yeah.
Well, maybe we can get like a whole EP from both of you.
There have been a few people that have planted that seed that want a whole EP. I mean,
I'm saying because
we'll see what happens.
Because your singing with her rapping just fits so perfectly to the point where I'm like, this is something. This is really something.
Yeah, our aesthetics complement each other well as well. The way that
I mean, you two damn near look like twins in the video. Like kind of. I think
so different.
No, well, I mean, it was like the makeup.
But I get what you're feeling.
Like the way
energetically,
you guys like meshed well together.
Yeah, I feel that. I mean, we styled the whole video, and we sort of creative directed it as well. Our director was the one who pitched the location, and then we kind of like fit every look around the location. Yeah, the different
that's crazy.
Things. And it was all super genuine, like the way that all those looks are the way that we always express ourselves aesthetically, you know? So it's like, it's awesome.
Oh, so you didn't even have to try hard.
I mean,
damn. I'll say it.
I mean,
she's like,
it came in a sense it's natural, you know, like there was a sense of natural to it, you know, like Julia's wearing clothes that she already had in her closet, you know, like.
Damn.
So it's like our necklaces in the pool scene. That's Julia's mom, you know, like she already had those things. Like these are all things that are just so genuine to who we already are. Which I think is so dope about the fact that it's impacting people, is that like this comes naturally to us. Like, oh, this is what you want, because we could
do this all day.
Do this
is
all
just
day,
us.
Literally. Like, we could shovel this out. Like, if this is what you're looking for, like, if this is what people are attracted to, this is who we already are. We don't have to manipulate ourselves into being something that is more stomachable or more consumable for people to fuck with it. Like, my armpit hair is in the video. Like, you know, like. This is just who we are, like, every other day, and like it's super sick that speaks to people.
Yeah,
you know?
I love the passion coming out from you. I think you're gonna be just fine. And based off the conversation that we had off camera prior to this, I know for a fact it'll be fine. Cameo Adele, where can everybody find you?
Cameo Adele. You literally can type that into any social media site, and I'm the only person that comes up because no one else has that name. I am on Twitter. I am on Instagram. I am on Facebook. I am on YouTube. I also have a .com, cameoadele.com.
I saw that.
Where you can
I was sad
see
because
any
there
of
was
that
no
stuff.
merch.
Not yet.
You know how that's how enticed I was. I clicked on merch because I was like, this chick's music's hella good. And I was like, coming soon. I'm like, fuck.
It's coming soon. I do have some things in the works, but it'll be there very soon. I promise. But yeah, that's all. Those are all my platforms. I'm on Spotify. I'm on SoundCloud. I'm on all streaming platforms. Yeah.
There it is. I'm Nico Blitz. This is The Lunch Table, Cameo Adele. And we are out, everybody.
Peace.